everybody, welcome to Kitchen Talk with Granna. I'm so glad you guys can come up into the kitchen with me today. I hope everybody's having a great day today. I hope everybody's just being safe and getting out there and just living their best life, okay? All right, before we jump into this conversation today, you guys know what I need you to do. Go ahead, down there at the bottom of your screen, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit that share button, and go ahead and subscribe to Kitchen Talk with Granna if you haven't already done so. And as you're sharing my video with your family and friends, just make sure you're having them to subscribe to Kitchen Talk with Granna also, okay? All right, before we get into this conversation today, I'm just want to a little reminder. I will be taking a week off, the week of Labor Day. I will be off for that whole week. So I will be gone from like the 7th of September to like the 14th. I'll be gone for a week. And then I'll come back and bring you guys some conversation. I hope during my time of being off that you guys have a great Labor Day weekend and you get a chance to spend some time with your family and friends and just enjoy the holiday. You know, that's like the last holiday of the summer, you know, so I hope you guys get a chance to enjoy that, okay? All right, so let's go ahead on and jump off into our conversation for today. I don't know if you guys have read about it or seen about it. Most of my information I've gotten about this conversation we're about to talk about has came from social media. I don't even remember seeing anything about it really on the news, but on social media, it's blowing up talking about Tim Norman. This is Sweetie Pie's Miss Robbie son. You know, it's talking about him allegedly doing a hire for murder for his nephew. You know, during the reality show Sweetie Pies, it ran, I think, for about 4 or 5 seasons, but it was on TV. And, you know, back in 2016 on the series, because they showed some of it, Miss Robbie's grandson got murdered, you know, and they never at that time could figure out what happened to him, you know, who murdered him. And when this popped up on my screen and it said that Tim Norman, Miss Robbie's son, was being arrested for hire to murder scheme of his nephew, I was like, what? I had to immediately go into that and Google that and read that. I'm like, what in the world? Oh my God. So allegedly, you know, like I said, he hired someone, him and his accomplice, the lady, this person that was working with him to help draw Andre out, to get him out to where they needed him to be to get killed. Was this young lady from Memphis, Tennessee, and I think her name was Tarika Ellis. She was an exotic dancer, and between her and Tim, they had been plotting to murder Andre. From the way I read it, for a while. They had tried before, but it didn't work or something. But this was just crazy because first of all, this is your family. This is your family. This is your nephew. He had already lost his father, Miss Robbie's older son, Andre. He was Andre Montgomery. She had already lost him, you know. So I don't know how Tim could just do this, you know, to his mother and then to his nephew and keep a straight face and manage to just go by his everyday life like nothing had happened. I mean, he was on national TV on this reality show being so sensitive, so sympathizing and so emotional when they was, you know, trying to comfort Miss Robbie and everybody, you know, the whole family trying to comfort them because this had just happened to Andre. How can someone do that? I mean, a person like that to me is just heartless. I mean, they cannot have a heart to be able to, even if he didn't physically pull the trigger, you had your nephew allegedly murdered and you go on about your life like nothing has happened. You up in your mom's face, this is her grandson, you know, this is your brother's son, and you're up in the family face like nothing has happened. You know, and they say, allegedly, all this went down because Tim was trying to get some money. He had taken out this insurance policy, several insurance policies on Andre, and he was trying to, you know, get this money. So he, you know, plotted to have Andre killed. You know, Andre was at, I think, a recording studio the night that he was murdered, and he had, Tim had this young lady, Tarika Ellis, to call him, to lure him out of the recording studio. And when he came out, took the call, you know, went out to see whoever he supposed to be meeting or whatever she said to him. And then, you know, he ended up getting murdered. And then once this was done, she calls Tim back and say, hey, it's done. And somehow, I guess he gives her like $9,000, and she's on her way back to Memphis. And they was showing on the report where she broke that $9,000 down, putting it in different accounts, like a savings account, a checking account, and a little bit at this bank. And, you know, and it's just crazy. It's so crazy. I just don't understand. I mean, and I guess you just have to not have a heart, to not have any type of feelings, to be able to do something like this, and it doesn't bother you, and you still around the family, and you still showing remorse yourself, like this is really affecting you. You know, it's just crazy. You know, when I was reading about all this, I was like, I'm surprised he didn't try to do something to Charles, because him and Charles was like this. They was like this. They was very close. You know, while he was going all off everywhere, opening up all these different restaurants and trying to rebrand Sweetie Pie's restaurants and doing all this, you know, Charles was right there with him. They went and got a food truck and traveling all over the place with the food truck, and they opened up restaurants in California and opening up restaurants in Texas and doing all this. You know, Charles was there with him the whole time, and I'm like, I hope Charles didn't have nothing to do with this, because I just really liked Charles. I thought he was a cooler dude. So I hope he didn't know nothing about this or have anything to do with this. I mean, they're still doing their investigation. As of now, I believe they have arrested Tim and the young lady, Tarika Ellis. I think they're the two that's arrested right now, and they're still looking at other people. But they were saying they basically, because they had bought like these phones, they're supposed to be non-traceable phones, and that's how they was communicating. And then Tim went to the insurance company to try to get the cash in on the policy, like 2 weeks after Andre got killed. And then they said one of the insurance agent was working with Tim to get the policy. It's just so much. I'm like, oh my God, this is a TV show right here by itself. This is just too much, man. I mean, it's just too much of the stuff. There's so much stuff I was reading about Tim, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I know before the show, you know, before Miss Robbie really actually had the reality show, you know, I think Tim had did some time in jail for selling drugs, I think from the age of 17 to about 27 or somewhere around there. I think he did about 10 years and stuff. And then he gets out, and then he comes, you know, Miss Robbie gets her reality show, and he comes on there. At that time, he was with Janae, and they, you know, they was going through their thing, and she gets pregnant, you know, have little Timmy and everything. But even Janae said he was crazy, you know. And then after all that, and they done moved on and all this stuff, the last person they showed him with was Jennifer Williams, you know. And Jennifer Williams, she was on the reality show with the Basketball Wives and all that. And she said he was crazy, you know, during that show. That when, I mean, she had a couple of appearances on Sweetie Pie, but I think when she went back to Basketball Wives, she was telling them how Tim was, and she had gotten restraining orders, and the social media didn't want to believe her. I mean, I was a little shaded too, because I was like, I don't know, but she was saying that he was crazy and he was stalking her and all that, and nobody on social media really wanted to believe her, because, you know, Jennifer was a little shady herself, and she was kind of just trying to get some attention or whatever. But, you know, if he was doing the things that she said he was doing, and it kind of looked like he was then, you know, I'm sorry that people was feeling the way that they was feeling about her and not giving her, listening to what she was saying. But, you know, with this coming out, a lot of people are saying Tim has some issues. Tim has some problems. you know, especially in his relationship. And it's got to be something going on in your mind where you're going to sit up and plot out a murder to pay someone to kill a family member, and it boils down to you doing all this just because of money. I'm glad he didn't have anything to do. He didn't do anything to his mama, because Miss Robbie's, you know, worth millions of dollars. Miss Robbie is probably worth about 15 million dollars. You know, so I'm glad he didn't have nothing, you know, didn't do anything to her or cause anything to happen to her. I mean, I'm glad about that. But then, you know, it doesn't matter. You take a life, you know, a life is a life. And for it to be a family member, it's just, it's just, I don't know, people, you know, you just never know. You never know people and what they actually got going on and what's you know, what they thinking about. Here we are to watch this reality show, Sweetie Pie, for years, and you know, and supported, because I watched it. I was a faithful viewer. I watched her. You know, you supported her, and it seemed like you've gotten to know the family through the TV. You've gotten to know her, you know, because like I said, Tim was there the whole time. And a lot of things Tim was doing when it came to Miss Robbie's restaurant, Sweetie Pie, you know, I think he overstepped his boundary many times with her, because I think on the episode, they had got to a point where they was kind of going back and forward, because he didn't want to listen. He wanted to just take her brand and just go all over the place. And she was trying to tell him, you know, he basically needs to kind of slow down on some of the stuff he's doing. So I think it got to the point where she had to end up, you know, taking him to court on you know, because of her brand and stuff. So, you know, it's crazy, you know, what people does, how they're thinking, and you know, and some of the stuff that, you know, we learn them and we get to know them through the TV, but we really don't know them. And when something like this come out, because, you know, it was really sad when Andre got killed and Miss Robbie, you know, and watching them go through that and seeing that, it was just really sad. It felt like that was my nephew, you know, that was my grandson. You know, I felt that pain when she was going through that. So I couldn't imagine how she's feeling now with all this stuff going on with this investigation with the FBI, because this is the FBI involved in this. This is just the local. The FBI is involved with this allegedly hired to murder thing that they got Tim for. So this is really big, and this is crazy. So I hope Miss Robbie and the rest of her family are doing okay. I know it's easier said, easier coming from me or somebody like me, but I'm gonna pray that Miss Robbie's okay, because I know Miss Robbie's also, you know, on up in the age and everything, and this is a lot on her. So I just pray that her and her family's okay. And I just pray they get to the end of it. They actually, you know, get to the bottom of why this young man lost his life. It just seemed like it's just senseless and it just, for no reason, all about money, all about greed. You know, they say money is the root of all evil. And that's what it seems like in this situation. All right, so I'm gonna get ready and get up out of here. You know, I hope you guys have a great day today. As you're going by your day, just make sure you're still wearing your mask, make sure you're still being safe, you're practicing your social distance, and just having a great time, just enjoying yourself. You know, have a great Labor Day weekend. You know, do a little barbecue. You know, it's the last official summer vacation day. You know, just have a great time, guys. And I'm gonna be gone for a week, and then I'll be back to have some more conversation for you guys. But until then, y'all have a great day, and I'm gonna catch you next time around.